Fish on. Bosh. Right, guys, we're back out with a vengeance. Obviously last week we went out, didn't catch a fish. But yeah, it is what it is. I enjoyed myself, so the aim of the game is to catch them, so we are back out again today. As you can see from the title, we're in Brixham. We're not fishing the breakwater. We've got a little rock mark that I found on Google Maps, because usually we'd fish Berry Head, but unfortunately the car parking up there over the last couple of years is now like, it shuts at certain times, so you're like restricted to when you can fish. Me being me, I don't like restrictions, so I just don't go. So yeah, this week's been a good week. I mean, not for the fishing, but general life. We are going to be using the 5-foot pulley panels today with a pair of size 5s. Big loves to all the subscribers. Smashed through 200 this week. Incredible, to be honest. Thought I'd probably be on about 50 by now, so thank you very much. All the comments as well, been very positive. So you know what to do. Smash that subscribe button. If you feel sorry for me anyway, because I don't catch any fish. Right, the only difference today is, obviously if you're an angler you might know, but usually I use imps because I fish on the beach. But lately I've been doing a lot of rock fishing. And as you can probably see there, hopefully, that there is a link clip for your lead, and that's where the bait clips to. On an original one, they're quite small and short, so when you cast, the hook tends to come off, like before the cast lands. But I found with these ones that I found online, with the extra bit of length sticking out, with the bigger hooks, they tend to stay. Wow, they tend to stay on while you're casting through the air. So we're gonna use those today. I have took them out to the field and tested it to see whether, and it does work. So we're gonna start off with 6 ounce rolling lead. We are fishing the incoming tide today, guys. So I think we've got about half an hour till low water, and then yeah, by that time we should have our baits ready. Rigs tied, we'll be out fishing. Like I said, I found this place on Google Maps, so I haven't fished here before, so aim for today is just to get a fish out, guys. Or a mermaid or something like that. Something magical. Obviously not, but you know how we go. Woo! Right, there's one on. Remember, best scissors in the world. Make sure you grab some wrigglers. Right, another pulley panel, baby. Right, we will be using a pair of size 5s today. Big old girt hooks. If we start getting loads of bites but keep missing them, I won't be stubborn today, and I will drop down the hook sizes, because sometimes you have to, but I just don't like to, you know. I don't like restrictions. That's the whole reason I'm not fishing at Berry Head today. Because if the fishing's good, the fishing's good, you know. You don't want to be like, oh, I have to go because the car park's shutting. I mean, at the end of the day, we do this to get out and enjoy ourselves. It's the same as when you go on a night out and your wife goes, make sure you're home by 10. You ain't going home by 10. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. Anyway, I won't try and insult anyone then. Sorry if you got offended. Righty, Roy. Clip this one on. Oh. Wow, it's been quite nice talking to you guys lately, to be honest. Bit like therapy, innit? No one's around, no one can hear me. Apart from the whales watching. Right, let's put that rig wallet away. Keep ourselves tidy. Everything's covered in coffee this morning. I stopped off at Mackey's, didn't I? I mean, my whole, I'm gonna have to take it out, to be honest. 2 seconds, bear with. Bloody nightmare it is. Bloody nightmare 'em. Doot, 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 doot. Yeah, look, as you can see, coffee. It smells lovely though, not gonna lie. Right, new bait elastic. I bought some new bait, light elastic today, well yesterday, because rubbish in the bucket. We'll be using crab today. So I did manage to get myself some live crabs from Newton Baits. Again, you know, he sells them singly, so I just went and got myself a few. Try and make a bit of a difference today. I will be fishing wrigglers, frozen sand eels and squid wraps, because you never know, you may get a ray off of here. Hopefully we'll get a ray off of here. Obviously Brixham is known for its big congers, so if we can get a big conger, that'd be ideal. These crabs, got to find the ones that are right. You'll do. Right, quick demo. If you don't like watching things get peeled apart, look away now. So here's a crab, hard shell. Obviously peel a crab, how they check is they grab hold of it, make sure the claws ain't going to get them, get one of the legs, and you peel it off slowly, and you can see there's flesh underneath. So that's a peeler, which means obviously it's just deshelling, and once it's deshelled, underneath it's soft. Usually they're under rocks or pots, so they don't get eaten. But that's when they're at prime time for the fish to eat them. So we're going to get rid of the legs, claws, twist them off. 1, 2, 3. I like to keep the legs, just for tipping my baits, for a bit of attraction in the tide. They're ideal for that, especially when you're place fishing and stuff like that. So even if I don't use them today, I'll bang them in the freezer when I go place fishing, put some worm on, just a couple of legs, just for a bit of movement in the tide and a little bit of different flavour, really. Right, so now you're just left with the body. So on the back, where the back meets the bottom shell, the back of the crab, just stick your thumb in there, or your nail. I haven't got any, so it's quite difficult. There we go, and then you peel it off. That makes the top all soft. Then you flip the crab, and underneath you've got the flap. It's like a triangular shape. Peel that next. I'm not saying that's how you have to do it, that's just how I do it. And then you've got like this 6-pack section, the mid section. If you start from the front where the teeth are, and just slowly break away the shell. What I tend to do is pull the front bit off and then work my way down, pushing towards the leg sockets. That way I get most of the shell off. I mean, some people don't even do that, they just peel the back off, smack it on the hook and cast it out, but I just like to make it easier for the fish, and then you get more of the juices flow out. So obviously once you've done that, the whole crab is now soft, so you've transformed it into a softie. So take your scissors, back end of the crab, so this side of the crab, put a snip up the middle section to where the teeth are again, and then all we're going to do is come on, get the hook, and then start from one end that you've snipped, so you like sort of stretch it out a little bit, start in there, and then thread it down through the hook. And all this does, you don't have to do that, you can just put it straight on the hook and bind it on, but when you do this, it allows you to push the first bit you put in over the eye, so then when you bind it on, your top panel hook can just slop straight in the top. You'll find, because the bodies are quite short, they'll only sit on the bottom hook, whereas if you snip them and like pull them open, it like doubles up the size of the crab, so you end up with like a long sausage instead. So yeah, we are just going to Oh, look at that, look. I've lost my elastic already. I've been here 10 minutes. Fucking nightmare I am. Ooh, so, just a quick whip on that. Whip, whip, whip. Nay, 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 nay. Look at me, look, talking like it's a Saturday. It's currently Friday. I'm out fishing. Majority of the world's out at work. So even if I don't catch a fish, I'm still happy because I'm getting paid. Getting paid to be out on the bank. Right. Bosh. Bosh, bosh, bosh. Hook down. Into the top of the bait. And there you go. Bosh. Right, so we're going to get that clip down now. Smack it out. If I get a fish, I'll bring you back. Well, I'm going to bring you back anyway, aren't I? Let's be honest. So yeah, see you in a bit. So, just reeled in to do the first bait check. Bait seems quite good, so I'll probably be leaving them out for about half an hour or so. Unfortunately, well, I say unfortunately, it's nice to see, but as I was reeling in, out popped Mr. Seal. So, has knocked my confidence a bit. Unfortunately, you can't help it. There are a lot around. Well, a lot more around now than there used to be. But we're going to go with it. We're going to ride it out for today. Hopefully it doesn't affect the fishing. But obviously, if any of my other videos are to go by, as soon as Mr. Seal pops his head up, we're looking at a blank. Yeah. It's a bit unfortunate, but it's what it is. Just got to roll with it. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of squid, just to top the bait up for the flavour. You know, if you reel in and your baits are still half decent, instead of wasting it, just add a little bit more. Add a little bit more bait and boat them back out again. I really hope it doesn't affect the fishing today, but if it does, it does. Just getting that excuse in nice and early. But yeah, other than that, haven't had any bites yet. First cast, so you never know. We might get a monster yet. Or a fish. A fish would be nice. Right, so that's a bit of extra bait added. I'm gonna hit that one back out. Again, forgot a tea towel, so I am using my jumper. Straight in the wash when it gets home. Oh, right. I'm gonna hit this one out, check the other rod, put a bit more bait on that one. If we get any more indications, I'll bring you back. Hopefully next time I'll have a fish. If not, I'm sure we'll chat a bit of waffle about something. And I forgot to mention as well, obviously, I mentioned the imp earlier. The reason I've gone to the splashdown clip, the leg clip with the longer tail on it, is because sometimes when you're fishing on the rock, like on the beach, you can just reel in, you know, you don't make any contact with rocks or anything like that. But sometimes when you're fishing on the rocks and you've got to lift your bait and lead over some rocks to get it in, if it hits them, for some reason, I don't know why, but the imps tend to bend or break and the little plastic clip comes off. So instead of like keep wasting them and using them, I'll save them for the beach. And so far so good, you know, them clips are doing wonders. So yeah, that little change just helps improve your fishing, stops you losing a lot of gear, because at the end of the day, we don't want to be spending loads of money. I mean, obviously you got to spend money when you're fishing, but we like to keep costs down. Otherwise it'd only be the rich people that went out on it. Right, so I'm gonna belt this one out and I'll bring you back in now for about 2 hours. It's just started to pull. Where there's tide, there's fish. So hopefully we will bag a fish today. If we don't, we don't, is what it is. I've had a few messages about getting into fishing, people that want to get into fishing, asking me about how much they need to spend on rods and stuff like that. I mean, fishing is expensive as you want it to be. I've only been rock fishing and beach fishing the last couple of years. I used to do estuary fishing, which is a little bit different. You use lighter rods, smaller reels, lighter line. But, you know, rock fishing, I've just grown to love it, and that's where there tend to be the bigger fish. So, like the rods I use are the Sonic SKS Blacks. They're like the lower range for like rock fishing and beach fishing. They can handle some good fish. I've had doubles on there. You know, the bite sensitivity is good. They're about 100 and I think you can get them for about £140 each or something like that if you shop around. I mean, second hand you can probably get them for like 70 quid. So they're not mega expensive. But then again, you don't have to even go that expensive. There's a lot of different rods that are cheaper. If you're just getting into it and you're not sure whether you're going to like it or not, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Obviously there are people out there that do the same sort of fishing and they go and buy £600-700 rods and reels. You know, my reels there, they're £40 each. They do the job. Well, they're not doing the job today, I'm not catching anything, but you know, generally if I hook a fish or whatever, I can land it. So it's the same with tackle and stuff, guys. You don't have to pay for the name brands. You can go online, eBay. Obviously don't get the cheapest stuff, because you know, if you lose a big fish because you bought some really cheap tatty stuff from China, then unfortunately sort of your fault. But I mean, for a rod stand, a pair of rods and reels for like rock fishing, beach fishing, you could probably get for about £100, like to start off, I reckon. If you went second hand, you could probably get it cheaper than that. I know my friend just bought a rod stand off the marketplace for £5. Do you know what I mean? So if you want to look around and wait a little while, you could probably get it cheaper. But I mean, for those of you that have got kids and out there, or you know, that like doing outdoor stuff and things like that, I mean, I've just literally been on Temu and bought, just to prove it, bought a reel, a rod, some tackle, some bits and bobs. I think it come to like 15-20 quid. So obviously I'm going to be fishing like this, like I always do, but I am going to put that out, that little rod out as well, try and catch a couple of fish on it, just to prove that, you know, if you do have children and stuff that want to get into it and you don't want to spend mega money, because I don't make mega money. You know, if I did, I probably would have expensive rods. Bit of a tackle tart, but yeah, you know, you can spend, I just want to prove that you can go and spend 20 quid and you can take your kids out for the day, you know, down to your local harbour or whatever, if that's what they're into. And you know, it's just a day out, isn't it? And once you've got it once, you don't have to buy it again. I mean, if they get really into it, Christmas presents and that, you know, you can upgrade it. But yeah, fishing really doesn't have to be expensive. I know a lot of the channels you watch, you know, they got the Century rods and things like that. They're like £700 each, some of them. God, my legs are getting a bit... I need to get a better camera stand, I think. But yeah, guys, you really don't need to spend a lot of money. I mean, and you'll probably find a lot of family members that are not fishing anymore or whatever. They'll have little bits and bobs in their garage, which will bring the cost down even more. So yeah. But yeah, that in the next video or two, we'll get the little Temu rod out, give it a bash, try and catch a few fish, just to prove that you don't have to spend lots of money to catch fish. Because we don't want to go out. I mean, it's not golf, do you know what I mean? It's the same thing though. In golf, you know, you can spend 300 quid on a set of clubs, or £100, or you can go and spend £3 grand. They do the same thing. You know, unless you're a professional, you know, they're not making a lot of difference to your game. But on that note, I'm just chatting a load of waffle really, because I'm not catching any fish and I'm trying to make a video here. But yeah, I am looking forward to that. I've literally just been on the marketplace as well, managed to pick myself up a little reel and like a 7-8 foot ugly stick fishing rod, so I can go and do a little bit of mullet fishing down the river. And I think that comes to about £23 you know, obviously I've already got the hooks and stuff like that, so it's not going to cost me any more. But so, you know, if I go there and I catch a few mullet, you know, I spent £27, and it's all about just keeping prices down, guys, especially at this time in the world when everything costs £5. I mean, a chocolate bar's £1.50. It's fucking madness, absolute madness. But yeah, back to the fishing. I'm going to change it up a little bit. I think I'm going to try and put some smaller hooks on, and just put some smaller squid, like some squid heads on one rod, and just like half a peeler with a few legs, just to try and entice a bite and change the outcome of the video. So on that note, I'm going to make them few changes, and yeah, hopefully get a fish for the camera. Let's see in a bit. Whoa. And there you have it, guys. So I thought, I didn't bring any mackerel today, so I'll just put a set of feathers in, one cast, and we got a full string. So basically, God, that was madness, that was. So basically, we've now got fresh bait, so I'm going to put some mackerel on. They're not bad size at all. So Steve from work, Crazy Steve, who we're meeting later, will be eating well. Oh, see, one cast can just change a session. So yeah, we're going to get these unhooked. We'll bait up again with some fresh mackerel, and hopefully this is what the fish are feeding on. See you in a bit. Put a set of feathers on. It's always good to keep them in your bag. So when you are fishing in the daytime and it is a bit slow, you just have a couple of casts, get yourself some bait and put some on the table for some friends. Obviously I had a full string there, so that's plenty enough for bait and enough to feed a few people. So just gonna have a few casts now, so you can catch a few on camera while the bottom fishing's a bit low. And then we'll bait the rods back up with some fresh mackerel. Fingers crossed, that's what they're feeding on. So, let's give it a go. What I do is I cast it out, wait for it to hit the bottom, and then sort of retrieve, pull, retrieve, pull. Just that sort of motion, just to keep them off the bottom, stop them from snagging. I mean, that might have been pot luck, but we'll have a few casts just to prove that there are fish here, and I didn't just buy them from Sainsbury's. Right, well, didn't hit the shoal that time, did we? Just got to be careful because my other line's there, so it's quite hard to cast. Under the other line. Let it hit the bottom. And it really is as simple as that, guys. Just cast out and retrieve. I know everyone's done feathering, well, most people, but some people haven't fished before. Just a little demo. And hopefully in the next cast or two, we'll catch a few. And all you're doing is casting into different spots, left and right. they're slowly retrieving. And then if you hook one, like I just did then, there we go, I found them again. If you slowly retrieve it, it tends to attract the others. So you end up filling the feathers rather than just catching the odd one. There we go. I feel like I've just picked another one up. There we go. So I've got a few on there now. Oh, one come off. Oh. There's another one. And that's how feathers work. Right, well, obviously, like I said before, oh, these are good sized mackerel, to be fair. Normally they're joeys, but these ones are good. So I've kept enough for bait and stuff, so that one's going to go back. I'm going to have a few more casts just to get the old arms pumping. It doesn't even matter whether it's a mackerel or not. A fish is a fish, and you still get that same feeling inside when that rod's just bending over. Just makes you happy. Right, so we're gonna have a few more casts and then I'll bring you back. We'll do a bait up with the fresh mackerel, cut it off and that, see what it looks like, and then hopefully that's what they're feeding on, because that's what's out there. So see you in a bit. Right, what a change a couple of casts can make. Right, as you've seen then, just had a few mackerel. So the bigger ones, there's 4 or 5 nice sized ones there, I'll put back for Crazy Steve. He's going to have them, because I did promise him last time I went, but unfortunately I didn't get any. I lost the feathers. So I've had a couple of smaller ones as well, which I've cut up for bait. So just quickly show you if it will allow me. So yeah, there we go, big mackerel baits. I'm going to put this out now for a huss. Fingers crossed we can get one. We didn't have any mackerel in the freezer, so fresh mackerel's always better as well, to be fair, you know. Well, free bait's free bait, isn't it? So yeah, I am going to continue with the feathers for a few minutes while the mackerel are here. Obviously any good sized ones, they'll just go back now. I don't need any more of those. The smaller ones I will keep, because I am planning on coming back down to Brixham Harbour, fishing off the breakwater there, because there has been some really good conger eels come off of there, so hopefully that'll be another video. But in the meantime, I'm going to carry on fishing. Hopefully we can get some better fish, and I'll bring it back. Fish on, baby. Right, let's get it. See you in a bit. Right then, unfortunately we've been beaten. Well, beaten by the big fish. We've had loads of mackerel today. I've had, after them first ones I showed you in that I kept, I've probably had about 50 altogether. Probably more than that. It's hard to count, especially when you're pulling in full strings. But I mean, if that's your kind of fishing, I mean, people love going feathering. Do you know what I mean? If you eat mackerel, fair play. Just, yeah, get yourselves down to Brixham Harbour, down there off the breakwater, set of feathers. What, they're £1? And you know, even the younger ones that haven't got hours to fish out like I do, you know, grab them a set of feathers and a little rod, throw it out in a couple of hours of fun, isn't it? So I have kept a few obviously for bait later, because I am popping out again this evening, so that'll be another video. And Crazy Steve will be coming with me, which he's very excited for. So yeah, it's been a good day. Thanks for watching, and see you on the bank in a bit.